Right here, when I knew I was gonna fall, everything slowed down. I was ultra focused. I knew I was gonna swing into my belay partner and that I would have contact. So my instinct was to use my arm to catch the swing as opposed to kick him with my legs. This basically prevented an unnecessary battle between me and my belay partner. This split-second decision is what can prevent you from getting an injury, but it's easier said than done. One of the main ways to get better at falling is to take practice falls regularly. You want your nervous system to not be in a panic when it's falling. You want it to be turned on and focused. Practice, in this case, makes perfect. If you're scared of falling, consider putting practice falls into your regular climbing routine so that the next time your fall is unannounced, you're ready. Why practice falls? Practice falls can also help your head game. If your nervous system understands that you aren't going to hurt yourself when you fall, it becomes a lot easier to do a committing move. Think about it. If your mind is not nervous about falling, it'll have more energy to spend on climbing the rock. I know, it sounds simple. Take your practice falls high and overhung. As scary as it is to fall higher, taking a fall farther from the deck is a lot safer. Take your practice falls at the top of an overhung route. This gives you more room to fall. Overhung routes are much more forgiving when it comes to swinging into the wall. If you take a fall on a vertical wall, you'll have a little bit less distance for you before you hit the wall. Once you feel comfortable with overhung falls, then maybe you can try some vertical falls as well. Practice falling frequently. With repetition, the fall should become a lot easier. Some people have a lot harder time than others, and that's okay. Try and have fun with it. This is because you're teaching your body that it's safe to fall. You want to be able to fall without hesitation. Keep integrating practice falls until you don't need to hesitate before you fall. There's a myth out there that you need to just get that big whipper out of the way. Be gentle on yourself and your brain. You're trying to build up tolerance, not create anxiety. It's totally fine to start on smaller falls, then progress to the bigger ones. The big key is to get your brain to understand that it's safe. Another tip is to take falls at every single bolt. I recommend starting at the third or fourth bolt. That way you have enough distance in case there's an error in a new belayer. Don't be fooled. This is a lot of work because you have to jug up each time. Fall younger. It's important to note that the later in life that you start to build this tolerance, the harder it's gonna be. You've heard that older people are set in their ways. It's not 100% true. There's of course exceptions to this rule. But if you're not used to things like high speed, motorcycle riding, falling, flying, jumping out of planes, it's likely gonna be harder. Our brains develop risk management by the time we're 25. So if we have falls that are safe when we're younger, we have that feedback loop that we're much likely gonna feel like it's safe to take these types of falls. Having said that, it's not over if you're over 25. Over the years, we've understood that neuroplasticity is much more feasible in varying ages. It does seem to be easier to do when you're younger. So for all you younger boulders out there that want to lead climb, it's time to rope up. Relax. When I fell here, I wasn't tense. I was relaxed. Because I was relaxed, I knew how to make a split-second decision before I hit my belay partner. This comes from years of experience of falling. So keep practicing and practice being relaxed. The more relaxed you are when you fall, the less likely you're gonna get hurt if you make impact. When you're stiff, it causes a shock. No surprise there, right? Don't grab the rope. I know it's super hard to do, and it's one I see well-seasoned rock climbers still do. But don't grab the rope. Most of the time, it won't lead to a rope burn, but that doesn't mean that it never will. If you get in the habit of grabbing that rope, that 100th time that you fall and have slack in the rope, you're gonna burn your hand. Don't make it a habit. I repeat, don't make it a habit. I'm just trying to save you here. Film yourself. Don't be shy. Film your falls. Don't be narcissistic about it, but film them. It's a great way to get feedback so you can see what you're doing when you fall. If you want to break any bad habits like grabbing the rope, this is where you can get that feedback that you're doing it. When you film yourself, you get to have the reflection inside you, and then you say, okay, that's what I need to work on. Build trust with your belay partner. If you have a new belay partner, it's a smart idea to give them a little belay test. Take a small unannounced fall at the top and see how they deal with the fall. Make sure that there's open communication between the two of you. If you feel like you want a harder or softer catch, you should be able to tell your belay partner about it. Overall, make sure there's two-way communication. And you can always say, hey, I'm not comfortable climbing with you. Check the weight discrepancy between you and your belay partner. If your belay partner is heavier than you, they might need to know how to jump if you fall. If they're lighter than you, you might want to check to make sure that they understand that they're going to go up the wall when you fall. It's a good idea to be comfortable with your climbing partner before you say yes to the climbing with them. And if you're unsure, you can always take a practice fall. If you're really afraid of falling, you can always do a mock lead fall. That way you feel a bit safer with an extra rope. Doesn't always work, but it's one recommendation out there. But also be careful with the rope when you're doing this option, please. If there's too much slack, it can also cause issues. So hopefully you can use these tips and these suggestions. They come from a place of me wanting you to have a good experience rock climbing because I personally want some more climbing partners out there. No, but in all seriousness, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you found this video helpful, leave a comment down below and make sure you give a thumbs up. And if you like the way I teach, consider subscribing. Remember, all these tips are suggestions, and I hope you can utilize them to make yourself climb smarter and harder. Have fun out there, and I'll see you guys on the next one.